Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Bupe Lately. So the thinking behind Bupe Lately is just I invite you into the corner of one of the corners in my home, and I just sit down and I share with you what I have been up to lately, what am I learning, and it's just intended to be a chill time of conversation. Hopefully, if you will put questions in the comments, share your own you lately. So if you're Jane, you can hashtag Jane lately and share. If you're John, you can do a John lately. And I'd really be happy to know how you're growing, what you're up to, and just what you're doing. So being the first episode, I guess that's the introductory part of it. What you can expect is there will be not too much effort with the aesthetics. I think that's what they're called, because I'm just in a corner and basically reflecting on what I will be doing. So first things first, it is September. What that means is we're smack right into the heart of September, and it's Speak Life September. What that means is I've joined the Wisdom and Wellness community for the Speak Life Challenge. What I love about it is how it brings self-awareness. So in Speak Life September, what we're doing is we're hydrating. We're taking at least 2 liters of water in a day. We are exercising, walking 10,000 steps, at least 10,000 steps a day, eating healthy, focusing on high protein, high vegetable diet. Others do the Daniel fast. We are not taking any sugar, no refined sugar, no fizzy drinks, no fried stuff. We are reading the word, we are reading books. I'm still reading Changes That Heal. Like I had told you earlier, I have been on a journey of healing since May. And as you know, in some parts and on some days, it has gotten really, really messy. But me lately has been more present, more aware. I feel stronger spiritually. I feel like my old self again. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, where you feel like, you've lost yourself. But lately I've just been feeling like, I feel a lot like me lately, which is really good. And the chapter a day I am reading this month is in the book of Ecclesiastes. And I think it's such a self-awareness book. I would have never thought, because how the chapters are arranged, I've been trying to pick a theme for each chapter. Like in chapter 1, I saw contentment. I don't remember exactly now what I was seeing in each chapter, but there's been like a lot of be content, there's been being present, there's been enjoying the work that we do, because our time on earth is so limited, and there's so many times we rush through. Like, I'm big on investing, and when I lost my friend earlier this year, I think I've said this before, one of the things I got into a panic about was, what if we just fall down one day and you're working hard. And my friend and I, we used to share information on investing. We had policies that we had started at the same time. We had companies, a cooperative we had invested in at the same time. She was going to start investing in bonds, and she was consulting about that, and she was just about to get into that. And the thing about death is, it's so final. It's so final, and when it's done, it's done. And reading the book of Ecclesiastes, it just talks a lot about everything is meaningless, and it just shows us how everything starts with God, right? Everything from our creation to our salvation, to our wealth and prosperity and our ability to enjoy those, it is a gift of God. And that's where my heart is. this month where I'm just like, oh, so I can ask for the enjoyment of wealth. I am Baptist, and I don't know if it's just me or it's my misunderstanding of the teachings, but there's a sense in which it feels like I'll be cute for this. It feels like suffering is our portion, right? And don't get me wrong, we have like rich Baptist people. We have rich Baptist people in our circle, but I don't know why. Maybe it's just me who misunderstood the teaching, where it almost like, oh, you know what? Not exactly poverty, but like suffering would be our portion, whether it's like illness. And it's true, God does try us in those ways where, I don't know, there will be an illness. I recently lost a friend a few years ago. I lost a lot of family members, a very close aunt of mine, my uncles, my grandparents, and those are true. That's very, very true. But I think lately, reading the book of Proverbs, reading Deuteronomy, I think 8:18 or 18:8, which says God is the one who gives the ability to give wealth. It's like my mind has been shifting towards thinking and knowing that God blesses people. He's the one who gives wealth, but a new dimension to it, reading from Ecclesiastes also that I noticed was, there are a lot of people who have wealth and they're not happy. But like Ecclesiastes talks about, God gives wealth and gives the ability to man to enjoy that wealth. And that was mind-blowing to me. And obviously I put it in my Bible to cross-reference that with the Deuteronomy. God gives ability to gain wealth, and also the Proverbs 10:22, where he talks about God gives, he maketh rich and addeth no sorrow to it. So I like that my perception, whether it's because of my misunderstanding on how it was taught, is shifting, but also it's just remembering that it starts and ends with God, and that is where my heart will always be. And because it did say that wealth, like children, are a gift from God, so you can ask from God and he can choose to give you, or he can choose not to give you. And ultimately, the most important thing is to be aligned with God's will, like we're told in John 15. I think it's John chapter 15, about the vine and the branches. When we're aligned in God's will, and even in the Psalms, he grants us the desires of our hearts, because when we're aligned with God's will, even if I am given wealth, I will use it to the glory of his name and not to my own detriment and to my death. And so that's about the spiritual walk. And something interesting happened this morning. So in the Speak Life journal, one of the things that we're supposed to be doing he's talk about what is one thing I appreciate about myself, what is one thing I am good at. And it was so weird that I felt so uncomfortable. Not just uncomfortable, it was weird to me that I didn't know something good about myself. And another question that I found really strange was, not strange strictly speaking, the next one I found confusing. Again, I had to park there a little bit in my reflection. Was first it was, what did you do this week well, and what did you achieve? And for me, it was the ability to say no to myself, because first of all, Speak Life means I cut out sugar. So what Speak Life has done for me is, I used to be addicted to meat. I love meat. I'm one of those. But over the years doing Speak Life September, like, my interest in meat has like diminished. I can live without it. I enjoy vegetables. And also just being able to say no to myself, to fulfill my own desires. That was a big win. So it was easy to write. But the next one was, how will you reward yourself? And I had no clue. And this is the woman who is all about celebrate small wins. I mean, it's very easy to walk into a store and buy a bottle of like non-alcoholic wine and reflect on, oh, you know what? I denied this to myself, and this is how I have grown. This is how I see it. It's so easy. But then the question is, What are you going to do to reward yourself? And then I parked there for a while. And you know what? Lately, I have been tired. I've been physically tired, and not the tired I had been, for instance, in my other videos where I talk about I am tired at a soul level, I am tired at a spiritual level, like at every level. No, I've just been tired lately because of, you know, giving to Caesar, working. It had been a long week. I had been in back-to-back meetings. So I thought, you know what, I'll reward myself with rest. And sadly, this passing weekend, at church, we lost a wonderful aunt of mine. She was like given to the service of the Lord, just a beautiful, beautiful soul. And so this morning I didn't go to church. We decided my husband would do church, and I'll go to the funeral house, help with preparation of breakfast, help with preparation of lunch and even dinner, wherever that was possible. And we went there this morning. I went there this morning with other church mates of mine, and yeah, we were there. But in the back of my mind, when I did the reflections, like, you know what, I'll give myself the gift of rest. That's what I'll do. And usually on Sunday, it's like, it's almost a given. Like Sunday afternoon is just like, yo, I'd like to say I nap. No, I don't. I sleep. I pass out. I faint. Like, yeah. So, yeah, we went to the funeral. And even there, I found a very special gift. My spiritual life, like guys, like I told you, I've been going through the most, and lately all I can say is I'm in a better place spiritually. But I felt like today there was another added layer of healing to my spiritual journey, and that was being reminded while at the funeral. We had done the dishes, supported the cooking, and now we were washing vegetables that were cutting, so that by the time the group of women who were doing the night shift would come, they would, and also being Sunday, you know how Sunday can be hectic, we just wanted to ease their lives. As they come in the evening, they don't have to do the cutting, it's just about starting to cook. So we had like stacks of vegetables in the two sinks, and we're washing and we were cutting. And as we were washing and cutting those vegetables, we had a group of ladies that had gone to the living room to sing as one of the ways that, you know, you comfort, sometimes trigger the mourning family into crying and allowing them to mourn. And it's by music, by singing. And being Baptist, classic, we sing hymns. And we sang hymn after hymn after hymn. And I just felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. A sense of belonging. I thought a sense of belonging in the body of Christ, you know, in church. Was it this year or last year now? Something major happened. I felt like last year actually, which shifted the foundation of my faith, like in my family and in the church. And you know, you have a big spiritual decision to make about where you are going to go, and a big influence of mine in my spiritual life went one way and I chose to go another. And in a sense, it's not too far. It's not. Anyway, my point is, it's not like the spiritual giant in my life made a decision that I didn't agree with 100%, right? But there was still a part of me that felt like, you know what, I'm not where he is yet, and I have questions, and I have been processing this for almost a year now, for over a year now actually, and I haven't formulated the right questions to ask or who to approach about them. But I don't regret my decision one little bit. to move in the opposite direction of like my long time lifetime spiritual mentor. And yeah, but I tell you what, when there's like church hurt or like a shift as big as we experienced it, you are shaken to the core as a believer and as a Christian, and there's a death of a version of yourself and a rebirth of a version of yourself. So you're mourning the old, welcoming the new, and and there's a sense of, because of these two deaths and rebirth, the death and the rebirth happening, it feels like you're separated from the body of Christ, because you don't know what are other people thinking about me. Some tell you what they're thinking about you, and you're like, you know what, there's nothing you are thinking about me that I haven't thought about myself already, and all the questions you have, I'm still debating them. So for the last year, I definitely felt a sense of detachment from the body of Christ. And even if I did show up to serve, it's not as great as I have served before. And there's just no, you know how when your heart is just, it's not exactly in it, and you're just doing the work, going through the motions, it's really hard. But today, the gift my aunt gave in her death was a sense of belonging. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. It's a sense of belonging to church, and that's all I've known my whole life. Okay, I'm church, born church, raised church, everything. So to experience in the last year that sense in which I didn't feel like I belonged, and then today we just sang those hymns and just seeing the women come together, it was a beautiful reminder that church is about God, it's not about people. And just knowing that, you know, like Brené Brown, sometimes we work so hard to belong to community, and if anything, I've always been welcome in the communities I belong to. So it was just an internal struggle. I belong to me, you know, and I belong to God, and that will never change, you know. And just working with the women today, and I love to serve, you know. I'm one of those people, if someone is in hospital, I will go. If someone has a funeral and I can make it, I will be there. And just to see my community of women, my mom was there with the other church women. It was just such a gift to feel, you know, not to know from my head, to feel that I actually belong. It was beautiful. So, yes, we have set September goals. Now I will go down to my book on the dining table. As I've told you, aesthetics for this will be, as you can see, not much. But yeah, I'm going to sit down and plan for the week. I have a lot. I have to get organized. That's another thing, yo. Like, I have to clean our bedroom. It's been quite a mess lately. I mean, it's not bad, like I'm not making the bed and what, but the analogy of the chair is suffering. There's like stuff on that chair that I need to clear out. I just need to get organized generally. You know how they say your environment is a good reflection of the state of your mind. So I need to get into our bedroom, clean up. I feel like as a wife and a homemaker, I haven't really been present, so I need to get organized, actually be the home manager. I mean, I'm grateful for the privilege to have amazing help. Our help she's a gift. She's really a gift, and I love her. But also there's things I need to manage, to ensure that I have my home in a state that reflects me. So home management, I feel like I can be a better wife. Yeah, there's a lot of work that can be done on the marriage front, because of Speak Life September and Javi and I do it together. We're resuming our I forget what walks week, our prayer walks. Those are always good, because when we're doing our prayer walks, it's easy for me to know where his heart is at. It's easy for him to know where my heart is at. And even when we're done with the prayer walks, because Monday is Spouse Monday, so I know how to pray for him, because I can hear his heart through those prayer walks. We do it typical Baptist style, not Pentecostal style, where this one is praying and this one is praying. He prays, I pray, he prays, I pray. And so we can hear where our hearts are at, what our needs are individually. And yeah, it's good. So yeah, and I'm so excited, because in the last week I did use my prayer wheel. So you know how my prayer wheel has like Spouse Monday, family, myself, the church, the nation, whatnot. So it's nice to have used it after a long while. It feels like it had been a lot of months since I hadn't used it. So this last week I used it, and I used it well. Yeah, that's Bupe lately. That's me lately. Update me in the comments. What's been going on with you? What are the areas you're growing in? What are the areas you are feeling challenged? And how can I pray for you? Because now you are in like my friend circle, and I'll be able to pray for you. And just do leave it in the comments. But yeah, that's Bupe lately, getting organized, growing spiritually, doing Speak Life September, and just being self-aware and just getting to know myself a little more. So thank you for taking the time to watch this. I don't know yet if this will be weekly or monthly or quarterly, but yeah, we've started it. Yeah, it's Bupe lately. And you know what, if you're not interested, just tell me. You know what, Bupe, we don't want to know. It's fine, just be. But yeah, that's Bupe lately. Until the next one. Yes, the threefold cord is coming back. Oh, you guys, I've committed to a lot of things, but it's coming back. As you know, September is reflecting. I'm reflecting and planning how I manage all these things that I use my mouth to burden my back with. But yeah, we'll be here. So until the next one, this has been your friend Bupe, also known as the Mindpreneur. Have a great week. Bye-bye.